In this video, we talk about if renting is actually cheaper than buying, why this is important to understand, and what it all means to you. All that and more, and quickly, because I really need to caffeinate. I actually tried to starch my shirt from the inside out. Stay tuned, this is Vasilios and you're watching Fastlane. If this is your first time on this channel and you want to get the latest actionable tips from a local realtor that actually save you time, save you money, and result in a smooth real estate deal, give us a like, hit the subscription button below, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any content. Now, onto it. Hey YouTube, for years and years, the general advice has always been to buy a home over renting. Past generations always considered real estate to be the most secure investment, and renting was always looked as a means to throw your money in the trash. After all, the American dream was to always be a proud homeowner, right? So being that homeownership is such a major decision and that counts on many different factors, it's really a decision not to take too lightly. Now, the greatest factor in home ownership tends to be people's finances. Oftentimes, folks rent instead of buying real estate, and now we're going to discuss if renting is really cheaper than buying and if it's the choice that you may want to take. In this video, we are going to break down the costs that are entailed for renting and buying, and perhaps some tips and facts that you need to consider. The first cost to take note of is the actual cost of moving in. According to the National Association of Realtors, the national median home price this past March was $329,100, and their typical down payment was approximately 7%. So what does this all mean? Is that you would need approximately 23 grand to put towards your down payment. Now, there are other loans out there that will ask you to put down as little as 3%, which is a little under 10 grand. So that may make things a little easier financially. However, on top of this loan, you need to consider closing costs, insurance, property taxes, and more. All of these costs can total approximately 4% of that sales price. So if you go back and use the National Association of Realtors numbers, that means you'll need at least another 9 to 10 grand and possibly as much as 16 grand in order to close on your property. Now, you do have the option to roll in the closing costs, but if you do that, you'll be paying interest on that note throughout the term of the loan. Now, moving on to a rental, the average monthly rent is a little over $1,100, and typically most renters will have to put down 3 months total in rental cost. You have your first, your last, and your security deposit. So add that all up, and we're looking at $3,300, which is much less than the down payment and closing price on a property. So what this means is if you're having trouble saving enough money to move into a house, renting is the better financial option for saving. Now, if you have the funds for the down payment on a house, what you need to weigh out is the monthly payments versus monthly rent. Now, the median monthly mortgage payment in June was just under $1,500, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Now, your individual mortgage payment can and will probably vary due to any number of factors. Down payment. The more you put down towards your down payment, the less you'll have to pay off. Now, the larger your down payment is, the less you'll have to pay off over the term of the loan, which could in turn lower your monthly mortgage payment. Apparently, I say now a lot. I said now 18 times in this video, just so you know. Now, mortgage rates, the lower interest rate, the lower your payment, is pretty straightforward. If you want to know just how powerful a low mortgage rate is, check out this video up here in the card, and this video will also tell you if it's a good time to buy now or wait. Now, the biggest impact on your monthly mortgage payment will absolutely be location. They don't just say location, location, location for nothing. House prices vary from state to state, city to city, neighborhood to neighborhood, or even street to street. You also need to consider what type of market that you're in. Market trends play an immense role in the value of your property or in the prospective property that you want to purchase, thus increasing your cost of mortgage and increases the cost to live there. Quite simply, in the seller's market, you're paying top dollar and your payments will most likely be a little higher versus buying in the buyer's market. In the buyer's market, where you would actually be able to negotiate your price down from an already lower value. So using the previous numbers discussed, the average monthly rent is about $1,100. However, depending on the term of the lease, at the end of the term, generally speaking, your landlord could raise the rent from lease to lease, or if you're month to month, and you're in the process of looking for your next home, that month-to-month lease could very well be higher than a typical long-term lease. Now, a long-term lease acts similar to a locked rate mortgage where it will not fluctuate. However, I haven't seen many 30-year rental leases in my day. Also, if your landlord increases your rent, your security deposit may also go up. Just something to keep in mind. Some other more notable costs if you're moving into a home are the following: utilities, HOA fees, repairs, maintenance, landscaping, and pest control. Now, when you rent, generally all you have to worry about is utilities. When it comes to moving out of your home, there are a few factors that will dictate your costs, one of which, hopefully, your home has appreciated in value over time and you'll be able to sell it for much more than you purchased it for. Generally speaking, home values increase over time, so the longer the duration of your tenure, generally the more you make on that sale. So if you're selling, you have these costs to worry about: closing costs, title search, inspection, transfer tax, and a few more. Generally, these costs are somewhere in the 3% range of the home's total value. If you're moving out of a rental, in general, it's a little easier. All you have to do is give notice to your landlord and that should be it. But there are a few things that you really need to keep in mind. You need to read your rental agreement carefully. Now, to make sure your notice requirements are met. Also, you need to make sure you left your apartment in good condition as to retain your deposit. And if you were canceling in the middle of a lease, there may be a penalty. So check your contract for any other costs that may impact you. Lastly, after everything is all said and done, is renting really cheaper than buying? Taking a gander and looking at everything, renting is still typically cheaper than buying a house. Now, if you're only looking at dollars and cents, then renting is the best way to save money on a home. However, when you look at investment value, tax breaks, building equity, the American dream of home ownership still might be the best choice for you. Hey guys, if there's anything in the world that you want to talk about or have a question, reach out anytime, no obligation, really. 508-821-8835. Could be about the weather, cars, racing, real estate, whatever. Now, if you like this video, then check out these at the top of your screen. And if you need a guy like me, I have a guy like me's info in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.